Chapter 10, The Opulence of the Absolute. Text number 1, the Sanskrit. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho Shrinu me paramam vachaha Yatteham priyamanaya Vakshyami hitakamyaya. Matthew, could you read the translation?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained."
So how did he start the last chapter? He kind of gave a qualification to Arjuna why he's going to speak these things. Do you remember what he said, either of you or Elijah?
Because you are never envious of me.
Yeah. And
Right.
in chapter 4, he also says the same thing as he's saying here. Because you're my friend, I'm going to tell you these things. Rahasyam hietadutamam bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Oh yeah, because you're my bhakta and my friend, I will tell you these things that will allow you to enter into the mysteries of understanding me. Okay, listen.
In that context, something made sense to me today because, Nishingadev's birthday is coming up. And I thought, like who could be envious of the Lord? I guess it's demons like Hiranyakashipu.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in that age, Hiranyakashipu was extremely envious.
Yes. And I always wondered about that too. When great devotees in our line, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's said that when he opened a temple in Navadvip, or in Mayapur, said that to collect money for that temple, he went to every home and begged for a few rupees, even to the homes of his enemies. And I thought, how could anyone be an enemy of a devotee like Bhaktivinoda Thakur? But after being in this for some years, I saw how even if you're nice all the time, some people become inimical. But Arjun says, Priyamanaya, thinking you dear to me. Vakshyami hitta kamyaya. I will say some things that are for your benefit. Now Krishna is going to talk about himself, which when normal people just keep saying, I am like this, and I do these things, and we would kind of like, okay, we would prefer to go somewhere else. We don't want to be around people that only talk about themselves. But here Krishna is speaking about himself, and Arjuna is really enjoying it. And you're going to see in this chapter, Arjuna is going to say, I really like this. I want to hear more. Paul's back. How's your microphone? Oh, no. Why don't you, I'll call you up on the phone and make sure you turn off the volume for this meeting. Otherwise, you're going to get feedback. Okay.
Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin of all opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages.
And Elijah, text 3.
He who knows me as the unborn, the beginning list, as the supreme Lord of all worlds, he only undiluted among men, is freed from all sins.
And Paul, are you ready for text 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
So here's another list of things to remember Krishna through. There's going to be a lot of that in this chapter. All of these are created by me alone. Read that list again and look for the contradictions.
Okay.
The paradoxes. See how many you can find in there. I like paradoxes.
Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, nonviolence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
Okay. Anyone find any contradictions in there?
Fame and infamy?
What was that, Sharita?
Fame and infamy, birth and death.
Yeah, fame and
Fear and
infamy.
fearlessness.
Death. Elijah, what did you see?
Fear and fearlessness.
Yeah. Krishna is all about paradoxes.
So I kind of thought of this one maybe. So the first thing says intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt. Oh, never mind. I was thinking it said doubt and illusion,
Yep.
doubt and delusion, and then it said, but it says freedom from doubt and delusion. I was going to say that kind of contradicts, but not.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too on the first time through. Freedom from doubt and delusion. All right. And the purport, I'll just zip through it briefly. The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna. They are described here. Then he goes into a description of each one of them. Let's look at this. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. And knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Ordinary knowledge, obtained by a university education, pertains only to matter, and it is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They're simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. And did you know Prabhupada was giving a lecture at, I think it was Harvard University. It was some really big university, famous, well-known, prestigious. The place was packed. They all came to hear the Swami speak. And he said the same thing, but in a very pointed way. He said all of this, that the purpose of knowledge is to understand who you are. What is the difference between a living body and a dead body? What is it that gives life? Where is that study in this university? And the whole place was silent. The professors were in there, the students, the graduate students. It was just total quiet, suspense. And then Prabhupada leaned into the microphone and dramatically said, therefore, this whole institution is useless. And nobody protested. He talked about that in a few other lectures. He said, I have challenged them, and they did not. They did not counter. They did not protest. They accepted my statement. Okay, so we touched on the purport. Oh boy, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Let's see, Paul read. So Matthew, read the second paragraph of the purport. Let's everybody read 2 sentences.
Okay, well, the second paragraph, first paragraph is very short.
Yeah, the third paragraph, sorry.
Third,
Asamoha.
okay. Asamoha, freedom from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely, he becomes free from bewilderment.
And Sarita?
Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. Shama, tolerance, and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others.
Satyam, truthfulness, means that facts should be offenses of others. Wait,
Yeah, looks like you skipped a line.
I think I did something here.
Yeah.
Means that facts should be presented as they are, for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented.
According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it's palatable to others. That is not truthfulness.
The truth should be, oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief, and if people are warned that he is a thief, that is truth.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth.
Control of the senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the properties of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement.
Therefore, the senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. That is called sham.
One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. That is a misuse of the thinking power.
The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings, and that should be presented authoritatively. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures. Oh, does that sentence continue?
Yeah.
Saintly persons and spiritual masters. And those whose thinking is highly developed.
Maybe read that sentence over again.
Sorry. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons and spiritual masters, and those whose thinking is highly developed.
Sukham, pleasure or happiness should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge and Krishna consciousness. And similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness.
Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected. Bhava, birth, should be understood to refer to the body.
As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world.
Fear is due to worrying about the future. A person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activities, he's sure to go back to the spiritual side, back home, back to Godhead.
Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know what the future holds. They have no knowledge of what the next life holds.
So they are therefore in constant anxiety. If we want to get free from anxiety, then the best course is to continue to understand Krishna and be situated always in Krishna consciousness.
In that way, we will be free from all fear. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Bhayam yavini veshata sha. Fear is caused by your absorption in the illusory.
But those who are free from the illusory energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are spiritual parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who are therefore engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, have nothing to fear.
Their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not Krishna conscious.
Abhyam, fearlessness, is possible only for one in Krishna consciousness.
Okay, let's pause there. We read a lot of stuff. There are some really good points in there. How's everybody doing? Anyone see something in there they want to linger over?
Does Bob just mean birth, or is there more complex meaning to it?
Yeah, there's a bhava with a line over the A, the first A.
Is that what I'm thinking of? Probably.
The devotion, the emotion.
Yeah.
Bhava. And so
Okay.
bhava means coming into being. And Krishna was saying both, I think he says bhava and abhava are coming from me. Yeah, in the third line, sukham dukam bhavo abhavo. Bhava is birth, abhava is death. So birth and death. Then bhayam, cha, abhayam, so fear and fearlessness. And then he talks about that. Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. And he quoted that verse, bhayam dvitiya biniveshatasya. And I think Sharita will appreciate this. This is from the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. And there's that dvitiya. When we see two things, when you see Advaita, that there is nothing beyond Krishna, everything is connected to Krishna, everything in a sense is Krishna, every action, every situation, every element is Krishna. When you see that, then you have no fear. So this verse says, bhayam, fear, comes when you dvitiya abhiniveshatasya. And then, let's see, dvitiya, bhina. Bhina, let's see, bhina means cut off. So when something is cut off from Krishna, when you're in a situation and you think that you are cut off from Krishna, that fear comes from. So when we're connected to Krishna, in other words, there is no fear.
Right. One can only hope that one experiences that state, right?
Yeah, well, as we said before, we get little glimpses of it here and there through the procedure of simply hearing about Krishna, which is said to be the most powerful. Hearing about Krishna and then chanting Krishna's names. These are the two most powerful methods that we have in Kali Yuga. And so one who is in that position, their future is very bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not in Krishna consciousness. Boy, I'd love to go on with this purport, but let's see, we'll skip ahimsa, Samatha. Let's go to this tushti paragraph. And it's Paul's turn. He gets one more sentence.
What is it?
Tushti, satisfaction.
Okay.
Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity.
One should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance.
Okay, we'll stop there. We'll stop there. We've got a whole chapter ahead of us. That was a nice little purport. I like that. So let's read text number 6. Sharita.
Oh, sorry, I have to. I'm going to need a minute. Can somebody else?
Okay, Elijah, text 6.
The 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors? What is that word?
Progenitors of mankind. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Paul, do you know what that means?
No.
Oh, good.
Oh, wait. Well, makes me think of the word progeny.
Yep.
And I know, I don't remember what that means either, but I know it has to do, I'm thinking of that one verse in like the first chapter, I think. And he talks about like, it has something to do with like having children, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
progenitors,
Yep.
people who make babies, people who carry on the population, is that what it means?
Yeah. People who make babies.
It's probably a little more elegant than that.
That was good.
Sounded,
All right. So start over again, reading the translation. Now we know.
Okay. The 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them.
All right. So Krishna says all of these people that are like the beginning of creation came from my mind. So he's really building himself up. He's saying, fame and infamy, birth and death come from me, fear and fearlessness. What else is in there? Charity, a big long list.
intelligence, knowledge.
Satisfaction, equanimity, nonviolence, control of the senses, happiness. Yeah, all of these things come from him. And now he's saying these people that started it all, they came from me. Okay, Paul, read text 7.
One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt.
So this is an important point. Krishna just said, I'm really great. I'm doing all of this really important stuff. And if you understand it, you'll be devoted to me. And so that's kind of the theme of this chapter. So he's going to do this a couple of times. He's already done it a couple of times. He's already gone through this theme of saying, I'm really great. And a lot of people love me because of that. People that recognize it, they really love me. And so he's going to speak a few more verses, and then Arjun's going to say, you're right. I really love you. And I want to hear more about you because I never get tired of hearing about you. And so that's how the rest of the chapter is going to go.
So I'm ready now if you want.
Okay, and Suma has joined. Suma, we're reading chapter 10.
Okay,
And
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna. Matthew's about to read text 8, and
Okay.
you will be after Paul. Go ahead, Matthew.
Sorry, there was cutting off. I'm after what now? Who now?
You're after Matthew. I mean,
Oh, okay.
after Paul. You're after Paul. Sorry.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Okay, see how that's so similar to the verse we just read. I'm doing big stuff, and people that know this, they worship me. They're amazed. Now this verse and the next three, these are the four main verses of Bhagavad Gita for our school of thought. It starts with 10:8, so it's easy to remember, 108. And so the next three verses are going to be this, it's pretty important points. So Charita text 9.
The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
So this is what these kinds of people do. They spend time, they enjoy talking about Krishna, and always thinking of him. They dwell in me. Their lives are devoted to my service. And what we're doing right now, we're talking about Krishna. That's what they enjoy doing. Elijah, we got enough readers if you want to take a break.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Thank you. So go ahead, Paul.
Text 10.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
Let's see. We learned this verse, but all the people that learned it. Matthew, did you learn it?
A little bit.
Go ahead. Try to recite it.
Without looking.
Sure.
Esham
See,
satata yuktanam
Bhajatam.
priti purvakam.
Yeah.
And
Dadami.
yogam.
Yep.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Yena. Yenamam.
Upayantite.
Okay, that's good. You're like 96% of the way there. Just write it down and it will stick. Tisham satata yuktanam. Okay, we won't do that with everybody else here today. Or Suma, were you with us when we were learning those verses?
No, I missed the class, I guess. You were learning this? Oh,
Yeah,
I missed.
we had the whole group. The whole group was doing pretty good with it.
Oh, wow. I need to remember.
All right, Suma, it's your turn. You get to
Okay.
read text 11.
Text 11. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
How are we doing? This looks like an interesting purport.
Yeah.
Let's go into the purport. Matthew?
When Lord Chaitanya was in Benares promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were following him. Prakashananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Benares at the time, derided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist.
Sarita? Oh, looks like she froze. Go ahead.
Sometimes philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact.
Suma?
There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart.
Matthew?
So the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness.
Sharita, are you with us? Oh no. Oh, there you are.
I don't know why I froze. Where are you guys?
Oh boy. The
Five.
Mayavadi philosophers.
Philosophies. Okay. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discrimination or without discriminating, one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme Lord,
Oh, I have a question.
as stated in this verse.
Paul?
The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth, absolute truth, the supreme
Yeah.
simply by speculating for the supreme truth.
Instead,
It is not possible
in
for
my
him to perceive him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth. Oh, whoa. That's good.
Suma? Uh-oh. Now Suma's frozen. What's going on here? Matthew, go ahead.
Only by devotional service is the supreme truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart, and with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated.
And Sharita?
This is special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. Do you want to go on to the next?
Yep.
Due to the contamination of material association through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge.
The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He need not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee.
Matthew?
This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service.
Sharita?
As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors.
All right. Wow, I'm glad we read that.
How's it going?
Yeah. It melted the internet, apparently. It was so powerful. It was more than... We lost Zoom on that one. I don't know what happened. But that was good. What was the gist of it? Anybody?
You can't understand God, Krishna without devotional service.
Mm-hmm.
You need to love him. You can't just, there's no speculation. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. And what is it that clears away the ignorance? How does that come about?
Chanting Hare Krishna.
Chanting?
Yeah, well, you can look at the verse. What is it? Or
Oh.
I should say, who is it? But that would be giving away the answer too easily.
Oh, well, Krishna clears it up.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what this verse is about. And the one before it also. Krishna is saying, I'm the one. I come in and I help you out. In the Bhagavatam, there's another verse that says, just by hearing about Krishna residing within the heart, cleans away all inauspicious things within your heart. He takes up that work. You bring him in just by hearing about him. He sits in the heart, and then he just starts cleaning things up, cleaning away all of our bad qualities. Then a few verses later, it says that knowledge and detachment from the world happen automatically for one who practices bhakti. One who develops bhakti will get automatically knowledge. So it's the same thing that's being said here. And so some schools of thought, they feel, well, first you need knowledge, then you need detachment, and then you can make spiritual progress. But ours is the other way around. We say, no, you develop bhakti, automatically you're going to get the knowledge and the detachment. Krishna will give us that knowledge. Okay, now let's read about how Arjuna accepts this. Whose turn is it?
Since Shirt is not here, I could
What was that?
read.
Oh, what text are you guys on?
Text 12 and 13.
Okay.
Elijah, do you want to read again?
Yes, and Simmer's not here, I can read.
Okay. Let's see, what order? Now our order is all...
Can't remember.
Let's start with Matthew. Matthew, Sharita, Paul, Elijah. We'll go in that order.
Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods or the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality.
Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe.
Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds.
O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead?
O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words.
Okay, see, just like I said, Krishna said, I'm really great. People that know about this really love me, and they want to worship me, and they think about me, and they talk about me. And he says it like 3 times in different ways. And then he goes on talking about it again. And then Arjuna says, yeah, that's right. You know, I've heard about you from Vyasadeva, Narada, Asita, Devala, and now you yourself are saying those same things. Yeah, I want to hear more about you. Okay, so let's go on. Oh, Paul, I was wondering about Eric. Would you be able to send him a message, see if he wants to jump on?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Sharita just read. Oh, but Paul, it's your turn. To read,
Oh, is it my turn?
yeah, to read 19.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless.
I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of light, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Richi. And among the stars, I am the moon.
Of the Vedas, I'm the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I'm Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness.
Elijah, go ahead.
Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Akshas and Rakshas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Of the Vashus, I am fire, Agni. And of the mountains, I am Meru.
Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean.
All right, before we go on, anything you can remember from those things that he just said?
I love that he says his Mount Meru and the ocean.
That his Mount Meru and bodies
The
of water.
ocean,
Yeah.
right. It's so beautiful. I mean,
Bodies.
that's why we love being on the beach.
Of bodies of water, I am the ocean. So on Earth, you can have ponds, you can have swimming pools, but the biggest body of water is the ocean. That's what this chapter is about. He is the superlative of everything. What else? What else did we get? Of stars, which is the brightest star in the sky? Anyone catch that one? Doesn't seem like it. Of stars, I am the moon.
Oh, right.
So
Well,
yeah,
I
I
was
know the
going
moon.
to say the moon.
What's that, Paul?
I just forget that the moon is a star.
Yeah, it's not really a star,
Oh, right? Okay.
but yeah, really we could say of luminaries in the sky at night, what's the brightest one? So the moon, it outshines any of the stars.
By the way, I love that he says is the Samaveda.
Do you know much about Samaveda?
Yes, I've heard it being sung. It's so beautiful. It takes you into another stage. It
Hmm.
really does.
Wow, I guess we can easily just look that up on YouTube now.
Yes.
And
But when you have a bunch of Brahmin priests chanting the Samaveda, really, it is a truly divine experience.
Yeah, that's true. Being around it personally and seeing it actually happening. It's the difference between a live performance.
It's kind of comforting when he says, "The senses I have the mind."
Oh, okay. How so? Why do you?
Just because, kind of like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. When you, what I, kind of how I see it is like when you have to control the senses, you have to control the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and the two just kind of go together. And when you kind of figure out that once you control one, you can control the other, it's much easier to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And that's the king of all the senses. Later on, he's going to say, among men, I am the monarch. So, like, he's the king of people, of animals. I am the lion. Getting a lot of
He
feedback. I
also,
think. Is everybody else getting that feedback sound?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's probably me. I'm just stirring up a pot of food.
Okay. Multitasking.
Yeah.
Also in text 23, he says, I am Lord Shiva.
Oh, yeah. Among the Rudras.
Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you noticed that one.
Absolutely.
And of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuber.
Mm-hmm.
I am fire, Agni. And of
Mm-hmm.
mountains, I am Meru. Paul, maybe try muting that phone when you're not using it. Yeah, that helps. I think. Okay, yeah, I didn't want to just zip through everything. We got to remember a few of these. Remember, years ago, we were reading this, and someone went to the beach like a week later, and a wave carried her off, and it was dangerous. But then she just remembered that we had read this chapter, and she thought, of bodies of water, I am the ocean. And so she just felt like, all right, this is Krishna. It's okay. And so she relaxed, and just by relaxing, she kind of got her senses back. Especially the mind. Of senses, I am the mind. And she found a way to get back to shore. Mostly it was like when you panic and you freak out, you lose your senses. All right, who gets to read? Who read 24? Or did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Kartikeya. Who read that one? Matthew did. Okay. So Sharita, it's your turn to read 25.
Of the great sages, I am Brigru. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas.
Paul, you'll have to unmute.
Of the trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarata, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila.
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 Of horses, Nomi, Chibi, Uchi, Each,
Oh boy, you get all the fun ones, Elijah.
I know. What's up with that?
We worked that out just for you. Krishna spoke this.
Help me out with that word.
He did it in that order because he knew you were going to be reading it today. You really
Shrava
did that.
produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar of lordly elephants. I am. Come on. Abrata among men.
I don't know about that.
That was great, Elijah. Okay, of horses know me to be Uchai Shrava,
That's close.
produced during churning of the ocean of nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. So Airavata is, well, when they churned the ocean of milk, all kinds of things were produced. They were churning it for the purpose of getting nectar, which would let them live for a long time. Prabhupada talks about it in the purport. And let's see, from the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchai Shrava. And I think Bali Maharaj took that. Bali was heading up the demons. And another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. And Indra took that elephant. Because these two elephants were produced from nectar, they have special significance and they are representatives of Krishna. Among human beings, the king is the representative of Krishna because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe. And the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. When you read Prabhupada's purports, especially in the Bhagavatam, you get the idea that, oh, here, Matthew's showing a picture of Uchai Shrava. You'll have to make some noise so that the screen will show, so you'll be on the main
It's
screen.
showing Uchai Shrava.
It's got a lot of heads.
Seven-headed horse.
Oh, okay. Prabhupada really, politically, he's always saying a monarchy is best. A monarchy with someone who's really qualified to do that. Because with a monarchy, they can actually do something, get stuff done. I was listening to some philosophy professors and getting into sociology and politics, and they agreed with that too. They said that really the best form of government is a benevolent monarchy. But the problem is, it's so hard to come across someone in that position that will not let that power go to their head. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings. So imagine that, instead of having this random procedure of voting by all kinds of wild people, and that's really what's going on. Someone who speaks out, and what's the word? Audacity. That was one of the predictions in the 11th canto when they're talking about what Kali Yuga will be like. It was said that audacity will be accepted as the absolute truth. So if somebody says something really, really wild and crazy, people are going to say, that's wild, that's crazy. It must be true. And we're watching that happen, especially now. They're taking advantage of it. So instead of just getting the public, the vox populi, the voice of the public, choosing a leader, most of the public is not very moral. They're not really very educated or intelligent. So they're just voting in unqualified people. And this is something that Prabhupada would speak on over and over again. So anyway, among men, I am the monarch. Naranam cha naradipam. Naratipam, the king. All right, text 28. That was Elijah stumbling over Uchai and Iravata. Go ahead, Matthew. That was great, Elijah.
I tried.
I totally, you sure did.
So George Harrison's record label is called Dark Horse Records, and he has that seven-headed horse as the emblem of the record label.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, it takes a lot to hold back someone like Elijah. He's ready to try anything. Okay, Matthew, your turn with the thunderbolt.
Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki.
All right, we got to go over each of those briefly. Of weapons, I'm the thunderbolt. Now, come on. Where's that weapon used? Who's got such a weapon as a thunderbolt? Indra. You already said I'm of, what did you say? Of demigods, I'm Indra. And thunderbolt. Anybody know anything about lightning? How powerful it is and how destructive it is?
Very.
Very. Thank you. It's crazy how strong that is. And so to have a weapon like that. Okay, of weapons, I'm the thunderbolt. Among cows, I'm the Surabi. Who knows anything about Surabi cows? Paul doesn't know. Anybody? Surabi is a special spiritual cow that gives unlimited milk and fulfills all of your desires, gives you anything that you want. You can just milk it out of that cow. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. That's another name for Cupid. And in the Brahma Samhita, there's that Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. So Kandarpa Koti, Krishna is more attractive than Koti. Does that mean thousands or millions? Sahasra is thousands, Koti is millions. So Kandarpa Koti, Krishna is more appealing than millions of cupids. And so causes for procreation. Come on, what is it that causes people to become progenitors? How did you define progenitor, Paul?
I defined it based on that one verse. I don't remember which verse it is, but the verse refers to, like unwanted offspring. So I thought a progenitor was someone who, made babies is what I said, but you guys all took that the wrong way.
No, we didn't.
I said it in it's probably, that real definition I'm sure is a little more elegant than how I put it, but.
Okay, but that was good. That was good. So of causes for procreation, I'm Kandarpa. And that really is what drives everyone to become a baby maker. Once in a while, some people will say, let's have children. And but usually it's Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki. Now we're back in that ocean of nectar again, ocean of milk being churned. And Matthew's got another picture. You gotta talk so that they'll see the screen.
They're churning the ocean with them.
Uh-huh. In this picture, it shows them standing on the land. In the Bhagavatam, it says they're standing in the ocean. Okay, cool. You're finding all the pictures. You could share it on the screen. That would be helpful. Thank you. Serpents, I am Vasuki. And okay, so the next verse I think is Sharita's turn.
Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta, and among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of the law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death.
Paul?
Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. Among birds, I am Garuda.
Oh boy, 4 real powerful, easy to remember ones. Among the Daitya demons, so the mother, the mother of all of the demigods is Aditi. So all of her children are called the Adityas. And I think that wasn't that one of the things he said? Among the Adityas, I am somebody. So among the Dityas, the Daityas, Aditi has a sister named Diti, and unfortunately she gives birth to the demon family. So among those in the demon family, Krishna says, I'm Prahlad, who's the best of everyone in that family. Among subduers, I am Time. So everything will be undone by time. Among beasts, I'm the lion, and among birds, I am Garuda. Okay. Next verse. Elijah.
Yes. Purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of the weapons, I am Rama. Of the fishes, I am the shark. And of the flowing rivers, I am the Ganges.
Okay, next verse.
Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth.
Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I'm also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma.
I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Okay, I got a story to tell about this verse that I heard from someone, a devotee in New York years ago. There was a group of them, they were out chanting on the streets, and they were walking down the street, and this great big guy started following them. Great big muscly guy with, his sleeves cut off, and the guy came up to this devotee, and he said, I love alcohol. And the devotee was, I love getting drunk. And the devotee was like, okay. The guy was just like trying to pick a fight. And somehow he just cornered that devotee, got him away from the crowd. And he said, you're supposed to preach to me. You're supposed to tell me I'm bad. And the devotee said, well, I don't know. I don't think you're bad. And he said, no, you're supposed to preach to me. And because I'm doing everything wrong in life. And so the devotee asked him, well, what are you into? What is it that really gets you excited? And then this guy started going into this long story of, let's see, who's the governor of California? What's that guy's name?
Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger, yeah. There was a movie that he was in. And the guy said, yeah, he was in this movie and he's going through and these bullets are flying all around him and he just doesn't care. And he's carrying his gun and he just goes through the scene and he's not afraid. And so that's what gets me excited. And the devotee said, oh, death. You like death. Krishna is death. Krishna says, I am death. And the guy said, well, wait a minute. You just make that up? He said, no, it's right here in the Bhagavad Gita. I can show you. The guy got super interested in that. And that was the thing that got him in there. Krishna says, I am death. I take everything away as death. I am all powerful, all devouring death. So the guy calmed down and he said, well, tell me some more.
I can't hear you.
I went back to the temple, sat down, ate a big plate of prasad, bought a bunch of books, and he was transformed. Before that, he was just like some bully that liked to go around and harass religious people because he felt like the religious people were harassing him. So anyway, that's my story on this verse. I am all devouring death. I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I'm fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Okay, next verse.
Whose turn is it?
Who read 34? Was that you, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Elijah.
I gracefully decline.
What's that?
I said I gracefully decline.
Oh, okay. The last one was too much for you, huh? Okay, go ahead.
Of the hymns of the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sam, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashirsha, November, December. And of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring.
So he already said, I'm the Samaveda, and then he says, out of the Samaveda, I'm the Brihat Sama. So now we gotta listen to that one. And in the purport, it says, it has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas, he is the Samaveda. The Samaveda is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry. Rhyme and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified Brahmins, is the most prominent. The Gayatri mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Gayatri mantra is especially meant for God realization, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. Okay, let's move on. Matthew, Sharita.
I am also the
36.
gambling of cheats, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong.
Well, this sounds like a James Bond description. If you'd get
Isn't he basically saying that there's no moment, no place, no anything that's not him?
yeah,
Like, can you
he's
describe a minute or a moment that doesn't have Krishna in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but here in this chapter, he's kind of pointing out that he's the best of everything. The best of everything will represent him. I think this is
Right.
the name of this chapter would be Vibhuti Yoga. So Vibhuti means like his powers are invested in these things. These things are almost like incarnations of his power. So I'm the gambling of cheats. So if you want to cheat him, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided. He is all-sided. He is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he's the most enterprising, the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise, and no one can surpass him in strength. All right, next verse, Matthew.
Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Of the sages, I am Vyas, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana.
Sarita.
Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am the wisdom.
Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me.
A mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. When I have spoken to you, what I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe.
And that concludes chapter 10. A spark of my splendor. Mamati Jongsha Sambhavam. Tadi Vavagachatam. Mamati Jomsha Sambhavam. Everything glorious, magnificent, splendorous is just a spark of Krishna's power and beauty. So that brings us up to the next chapter where Arjun's going to ask, all right, I've heard about all of this. Can you show it to me?
Mhm.
So in tomorrow night, and